The quiet morning that changed my life at 500 in the morning. Ho Chi Minh City is already awake. The first thing I hear isn't an alarm clock. It's the soft humming of motorbikes passing beneath my apartment, the rhythmic sound of street vendors arranging vegetables onto small wooden tables, and the familiar voice of a woman calling out to sell sticky rice. The city never truly sleeps. It simply changes its rhythm. Living alone often sounds lonely to people who have never experienced it. Friends ask me if I get bored. Family members wonder why I haven't settled down. Some people assume that eating dinner alone or waking up in an empty apartment must feel depressing. But after years of living by myself in Vietnam, I have learned something unexpected. Being alone is not the same as being lonely. In fact, living alone has taught me to notice the beauty hidden inside ordinary moments. The smell of freshly brewed Vietnamese coffee drifting through a neighborhood cafe. The laughter of elderly people exercising together in the park before sunrise. The warm smile from a vegetable seller who remembers exactly what I bought last week, and the peaceful satisfaction of cooking a simple meal after a long day. Vietnam moves quickly. Cities grow taller every year. Technology changes how we work, shop, and communicate. Yet beneath all that change, everyday life still carries a comforting simplicity that reminds us what truly matters. This is not a story about adventure or luxury. It is a story about ordinary life. And sometimes ordinary life is the most extraordinary experience we can have. One habit has completely changed both my physical health and my mental health. Waking up early. Every morning, before checking my phone, I drink a large glass of water and spend a few minutes stretching. The city outside still feels peaceful, and those first quiet moments help clear my mind before the day becomes busy. Some mornings, I go for a brisk walk through nearby streets. Other days I cycle or do bodyweight exercises in a local park. Public parks in Vietnam become lively long before sunrise. You can see retired people practicing Tai Chi with slow, graceful movements. Groups of women follow energetic dance workouts to upbeat music. Some men practice badminton while others jog around the walking paths. No one cares about expensive sportswear or fitness trackers. People simply show up. That consistency is something worth learning from. I once met an elderly man who had exercised every morning for over 20 years. He smiled and told me, "Health is like saving money. You cannot become rich overnight." Those words stayed with me. Many young people wait until they feel motivated before exercising. In reality, motivation comes after taking action, not before. Even walking for 30 minutes each morning can improve mood, reduce stress, increase energy, and help prevent many health problems. The hardest part is simply putting on your shoes and walking out the door. After exercising, I often stop by a traditional wet market. For many visitors, supermarkets seem more modern and convenient. But traditional markets tell the real story of Vietnamese daily life. Rows of colorful vegetables create a beautiful display. Bright green morning glory, fresh herbs, red tomatoes, purple eggplants, and baskets overflowing with tropical fruits. Fish sellers prepare seafood that arrived only a few hours earlier. Chicken vendors greet regular customers by name. Everyone seems to know everyone. Shopping here isn't only about buying food, it is about relationships. Many vendors remember what their customers like. One woman who sells fruit always asks if I'm buying avocados for smoothies or papayas for dessert. Those small conversations may last only a minute, but they make the neighborhood feel like home. Traditional markets also teach an important lesson about mindful spending. Instead of filling a shopping cart with unnecessary items, most people buy only what they need for today's meals. That reduces food waste and encourages fresher cooking. Living alone has taught me this habit. Rather than preparing huge meals, I cook simple dishes using fresh ingredients purchased that same morning. It saves money, improves nutrition, and makes every meal feel more satisfying. Breakfast in Vietnam is never boring. Some mornings I enjoy a steaming bowl of pho. Other days I choose hue tea, bun bo hue, ban mai, or sticky rice wrapped carefully inside banana leaves. Street food vendors begin working before dawn. Many have been preparing broth for hours, while most people are still asleep. Behind every bowl of noodles lies years of experience. One small pho restaurant near my home has only a few plastic tables. Nothing about it looks luxurious. Yet every morning it fills with office workers, construction workers, students, retirees, and delivery drivers. Everyone sits together. Nobody asks about social status. For 20 minutes, everyone simply enjoys breakfast. It reminds me that happiness rarely depends on expensive things. Sometimes happiness is just a hot bowl of soup shared among strangers. Vietnamese coffee culture is unlike anywhere else. Coffee shops are not only places to drink coffee, they are places where life happens. Business meetings take place beside students studying for exams. Retired friends discuss football while young couples quietly work on laptops. Some people sit alone for hours reading books or simply watching traffic. One of my favorite routines is ordering a traditional iced milk coffee and sitting beside the window. Instead of looking at my phone, I observe people. A father drops his daughter off at school. Delivery drivers rush between neighborhoods. Flower sellers patiently wait beside busy intersections. Construction workers laugh together during a short break. Every person carries a different story. Watching everyday life reminds me that everyone faces struggles we cannot see. It encourages compassion instead of judgment. Living alone requires discipline. Nobody reminds me to clean the apartment. Nobody prepares meals. Nobody tells me when to sleep or wake up. Freedom is wonderful. But freedom also demands responsibility. Whether working remotely, freelancing, running a small business, or searching for new opportunities, creating structure is essential. I divide my day into focused work sessions. After every hour or two, I take a short break. Sometimes I stretch. Sometimes I water my plants. Sometimes I simply stand on the balcony and breathe. These small pauses improve concentration more than endless hours sitting at a desk. Productivity isn't about working longer. It's about working better. Many people dislike cooking when living alone. I used to feel the same way, but eventually cooking became one of the most relaxing parts of my day. Preparing simple meals teaches patience. Washing vegetables, cutting garlic, eating oil, listening to food sizzle in the pan. These ordinary sounds become surprisingly calming. A typical dinner might include steamed rice, stir, fried vegetables, grilled fish, eggs, tofu, or seasonal fruit. Nothing complicated, nothing expensive. Yet cooking reminds me that taking care of myself is an act of self-respect. Rain changes everything. The sky suddenly turns dark. Within minutes, heavy tropical rain covers the streets. Motorbikes gather beneath bridges, waiting for the storm to pass. Coffee shops become crowded. Street vendors quickly cover their carts with plastic sheets. Instead of complaining about the weather, many Vietnamese simply adapt. That flexibility is one of the country's greatest strengths. Life rarely follows our plans. Learning to adjust calmly often matters, more than trying to control everything. As sunset arrives, parks become busy once again. Children ride bicycles. Parents walk together. Young couples enjoy street snacks. Groups of friends play badminton. Grandparents exercise while chatting happily. Even when living alone, I never truly feel isolated. The city itself provides companionship. Sometimes I take a slow evening walk without any destination, no headphones, no phone. Just walking? These walks help organize my thoughts better than scrolling through social media. Living alone has taught me lessons that no classroom ever could. I've learned that discipline creates freedom. Small habits matter more than dramatic changes. Health is built one walk at a time. Savings grow one careful purchase at a time. Friendships develop through consistent kindness. Confidence grows by solving everyday problems independently. Most importantly, happiness is rarely found in extraordinary moments. It lives quietly inside ordinary days. If you are planning to live alone in Vietnam, or simply want a healthier lifestyle, here are several practical suggestions. Start your mornings early. The city is calmer, cooler, and more inspiring before traffic becomes heavy. Exercise consistently, even if it is only walking. Consistency always beats intensity. Visit traditional markets. Fresh ingredients are often more affordable, and talking with local vendors builds community. Cook simple meals instead of ordering delivery every day. You'll save money and improve your health. Spend less time on your phone and more time observing the world around you. Create a daily routine that includes work, movement, rest, and personal time. Don't fear solitude. Use quiet moments to understand yourself better. Remember that life doesn't have to be perfect to be meaningful. Every morning, millions of people across Vietnam begin another ordinary day. Some rush to work. Some prepare breakfast. Some sweep the front of their homes. Some quietly drink coffee while watching the sunrise. Most of these moments will never appear in newspapers or television. Yet together they form the heartbeat of the country. Living alone has taught me that life isn't measured only by promotions, expensive possessions, or social media success. It's measured by the peace we feel when we wake up, the gratitude we carry through ordinary days, and the kindness we share with strangers. Vietnam has shown me that happiness often arrives quietly. It waits inside the local market, where familiar faces greet us with a smile. It waits inside a small coffee shop, where time seems to slow down. It waits during peaceful walks beneath rows of green trees after the rain. It waits inside a simple meal cooked with our own hands. Perhaps living alone is not about having less. Perhaps it is about finally having enough space to notice what has always been there. And when we begin to appreciate those small moments, we discover something remarkable. An ordinary life, lived with gratitude, can become an extraordinary one.